Today is Wednesday, June 10th. And yesterday you completed your 5 pages to your own House is a House for Me book. So today we're going to work on writing your autobiography to add to your book. So you have this paper in your packet. I can't remember if it's in your yellow or your green folder, but it's wherever all your House is a House for Me pages are. And you also have these 2 pages. So you need all 3 of these pages today. So get them out. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and then come back. But it says all about me. And now all the boxes are numbered. And I don't know why originally these boxes were in the wrong order. I should have done them in order so that we went around a clock. I apologize. But find box number 1. It says, I am in the blank grade at blank. Okay? So you have blank grade at. So on the line, you are going to write, oh, I ended up with all Sharpies. You are going to write, I am in the first, so 1 ST at, and you're going to write SJE, all capitals, and a period. I am in the first grade at SJE. So on the actual paper, I am in the first grade at SJE with a period. Okay? The next one is number 2. So right underneath it is number 2. I am. How old are you? Some of you are 6. Some of you are 7. Oop, I almost used the wrong marker. So it says, I am blank years old. Okay? And then on that line, rather than putting a line there, you're just going to put the number in. I'm going to write it a little bit lower. I am blank years old. And write neatly, because you're going to be copying from this. So I am 56 years old. Okay? Now, the next one is number 3. The people in my family are. So, who's the oldest? Mom or dad? Whoever's oldest. So, mom, well, in my family it would be. So, dad, mom, Ryan, Grant, and Heather. So these are the people in my family. Okay, you're just listing their names one under the other. So dad, mom, Ryan, Grant, and Heather. You have to write small. There's not a lot of room. But list the people who are in your family. Just your immediate family. We don't need to know grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, all those other people, and no pets. Okay, number 4. Some of my favorite things are. So what are the favorite things that you like? Now this is where you can put your pets. Some of my favorite things are. So what are your toys that you love, or maybe a bike, or your swing set, or I'm gonna put Denali, even though he's not really mine, he's my son's. My car. What do I? Oh, I have a hammock that I love. Trying to think of 3 things that you really love. Some of my favorite things. So Denali, car, hammock. You notice we're not writing sentences. We're just making a list. We are filling out a graphic organizer, and it's just going to trigger our ideas for when we have to complete them and put them in complete sentences. Okay, number 5. If at any moment I'm going too fast for you, hit pause, finish that, and then come back and catch up with us. Okay, I like to. What do you like to do? I like to read. I like to walk. I like to cook. What do you like to do? You cannot say, I like to play. Very boring. You can say, I like to play with Legos. Or I like to build with Legos. I like to play tag. Do you like to swim? Do you like to run? Do you like to go to the beach? What do you like to do? So again, we are just writing a list. I like to read, walk, and cook. Now, when I put these in paragraph form, I will expand and describe those things. Okay, so 3 things that you like to do. So this one was 3 things that you have that you like. Now this is, what are 3 things you like to do? Okay. And the last one is, when I grow up, I want to, well, you know what mine was going to be a teacher. This time I'm finishing the sentence. I'm going to put a period there. Okay, when I grow up, I want to be, what do you want to be? If you don't know, that's okay. Just pick something. It's not like I'm going to tell you you're wrong. You know, you get to be whatever you want to be. And your ideas will change as you grow up. So now we have our graphic organizer. There's all our information that we need. I'm going to make sure you can still see it. And now you're going to take this paper. Now, if we were in school, we would do a rough draft and then we'd correct them and we would get a final copy. Unfortunately, we don't have that. So we're just going to do the best we can. Okay? So on the very top line, we're going to write meet the author. Okay? On the very top line. And meet and author have capital letters. Meet the author. Make sure you have space. Now the next line, you're going to put your name first and last. You can even put your middle name if you want. So I'm just going to write Paula Bedard. Okay? So meet the author, Paula Bedard. So then I'm going over here and I'm looking for box number 1. And it says, I am in the 1st grade at SJE. Now we've talked before that when you write with a paragraph, you indent. So you start a little ways in. And when you read books, you notice that your books do that too. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to say, I am in the 1st grade at. Now, if you are writing large, don't write on the next line. Write down, because otherwise you're, so I'll show you how to skip it. See how I skipped that line? So that you have plenty of room so your letters don't run into each other. So if we write on every other line, it will look nicer. I am in the 1st grade at SJE. You copied it right from number 1. And then just so I know I've done it, I'm going to put a little check mark there to say, I'm done. Now I'm going to look like the oldest 1st grader ever. because number 2 says I am 56 years old. And see where the period is? I'm writing right after. I am 56 years old. Another period. End of the sentence. And I check it off. Now again, if you need to keep pausing this because I am going faster than you because I know how to spell all these words, just keep pausing it. Just keep pausing it and then catch up. If you're not sure how to pause a video, ask mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or a babysitter, who's ever with you. So after we finish number 2, we're going to start number 3. The people in my family are Dad, Mom, Ryan, Grant, and Heather. So remember, here's the period. I start right after the, I must skip this line. People in my family are, now instead of putting Dad and Mom, I'm going to put our names because it's not my mom or dad. You're going to put Mom and Dad. Are Ed, comma, remember things in a series? Skip a line. Paula, comma, Ryan, comma, Grant, comma, and Heather. Remember, and goes in front of the last person, and then a period. So now we have used 1, 2, and 3. And if you read what you have, I am in the first grade at SJE. I am 56 years old. The people in my family are Ed, Paula, Ryan, Grant, and Heather. We're halfway done. So remember, if I'm going too fast for you, pause and catch up. Take your time to write. I want good quality writing. Needs to be neat, needs to have finger spaces, capitals, punctuation, all the mechanics of good writing that you have worked so hard to learn this year. Okay. Now, when we get to number 4, we're going to start being more descriptive. We need to add some things. We just copied 1, 2, and 3. But now I want to describe a little. So some of my favorite things, are, now you notice I ran out of room. So that's why we have the second paper. But you can see by skipping lines, it looks so nice. My favorite things are my dog, comma, Denali, my brand new car, and again, I'm skipping lines, and my hammock that is in the backyard period. So I'm not doing a lot of describing, but a little bit. Some of my favorite things are my dog, Denali, I gave him a name, my brand new car, and my hammock that is in the backyard, telling you where it is. So be a little bit more, instead of just saying some of my favorite things are Denali, car, and hammock. Kind of boring. We need to describe a little bit. And now 4. Okay? Hit pause, finish your favorite things, and then come back to number 5. So when you come back to number 5, here's the period. I start right afterwards. I like to read novels. What kind of books and where? In my hammock. I like to read novels in my hammock. So I can just put a comma and say walk to certain, or I could put a period and say, I also like to go for walks in the early morning. Cooking for my family is also something I like to do. So you can see I took read and said I like to read novels in my hammock. Oh, I went back to that. I also like to go for walks when? In the early morning. Cooking for my family is also something I like to do. So instead of just like saying, I like to do this, I like to do this, I like to do this, I just changed it up a little bit. Just do your best. And the last thing that I'm going to write is number 6. So if you're not done with this, and this should take you a little bit of time, 4 and 5 are where you're going to spend most of your time. Number 6. So the last thing is, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. Ta-da! I'm done. So our graphic organizer, we had everything in there, everything we were going to write. And then we just had to transform it, and it's in paragraph form. So when I read it now, it says, I am in the first grade at SJE. I am 56 years old. The people in my family are Ed, Paula, Ryan, Grant, and Heather. Some of my favorite things are my dog Denali, my brand new car, and my hammock that is in the backyard. I like to read novels in my hammock. I also like to go for walks in the early morning. Cooking for my family is also something I like to do. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher. So this is Meet the Author. So it's all about me. Okay? Tomorrow, we're going to put the whole thing together. You have all the pieces done, and we're going to put it together. So make sure that yours is really quality work, that you skipped a line each time to make sure that it really looks nice. Okay? I'll see you later.